Hello, guys.
Power of enlightenment.
Yeah. That's who we are. And hello, everybody. Thank you for letting me skip the last two radio shows because I had to go to Norway and we have this little cabin up there in the mountains that we have to mow the roof because, it's too small for a goat to take care of, I guess. So, whatever. And we had
Is that
to,
what they do? Is that what they do there? They have goats that go on the roof to.
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
We
I
just
thought
did a
that's for
weed
real.
whacker.
Okay.
No. So, but we had to take my deceased father-in-law's belongings and distribute it to the siblings and all that stuff. So it was kind of a work time. Still, I feel refreshed and I'm on Norway time. So I started my scalar work at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God. This is good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, along those lines, we have a very heavy topic today. It's what's going on in the world? Are we in the end of times? I mean, are ETs involved? I talked about this with Ginger and Denise because we had two sessions about the Israel Hamas thing, two
Mhm.
separate ones, one with her and one with each of them. And yeah, it's really heavy out there. I think it's maybe part of shifting to the new earth. But Erik, I love you. Why don't you tell us?
He starts with, "I love you, Mom. I love you so much." And he says that you guys have been working
Yeah.
real hard today. But, you know, when he brought this topic forward yesterday and said we were going to talk about this, and I was like, "Oh, that's a big one."
You
And
probably
he
went
says,
gulp. Oh God.
Oh, I did. I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And he's just like, "Yes." He says, "We do need to talk about it." And he says, "We need to bring it forward to because there's a lot of people that are losing hope."
Yeah.
And he says, a lot of fear. And there's so much because he says it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And the heaviness is everywhere. And he says there's a lot of us that are doing our best to lift it up, but it affects each one of us. He says no matter where you are in the world, it's affecting you somewhere. So he wanted to talk about this today and he wanted to give a glimmer of hope and also talk a little bit about what we could do ourselves in our own life to help us cope, to help us cope through these times.
Good.
And so my first question to him this morning when we were talking about it, and and he's saying, is it the end of the world? Is this the end times? And he says, well, we've talked about it before, and we've talked about a lot of this coming up. And he says, guys, this is it. Like, this is the things that we've talked about that are the hard stuff that we're walking through, the heavy stuff. And he says, and it's not without sacrifice. There is some sacrifice. And he says, loss of life. He says, we're going to see things happen around the world that are difficult. Is the world ending? No. The world as we know it is changing. And he was saying to me earlier, he was showing me how like the Bible, like the prophecy, and he says that's what's coming out a lot in the collective. People seeing a lot of signs of things, and he says, "Okay, guys," he goes, "now," he says, "is there truth to that?" He goes, "Well, yes." He says, "because there are different timelines that have elements of the same thing. So we are seeing signs, but it doesn't mean that we're on the timeline of complete disaster." And that's what he
That's
really wants
interesting
to
because
drive forward.
somebody all the community questions that came up gathered to the community for the two sessions I had today. A
Hmm.
lot of people asked about the Antichrist and Armageddon and all that stuff. So yeah, and he said,
Okay. Yeah.
nah, no Antichrist.
Mm-mm.
It's a shift to the new with the shifting toward the new earth, you said, Erik, to either Denise
Yes.
or Ginger. Yeah.
And he said, and he goes, and that's the thing. And he says, but he wants to acknowledge because he says where people are having a hard time is that because it does feel so heavy. And he says there's a lot out there in the media. And he's not just talking about the news, he's talking about social media all
Oh,
over the internet. He says it's
yeah.
everywhere. And he says there's a lot of people trying to piece things together. like this is definitely happening and this is definitely happening. And he just goes, guys, nobody has 100% knowing of how things are happening.
But the problem is
He
a lot of
says,
people think they do. For
that's right.
example, that all when the whole thing about the hospital being bombed by Israel, it's like then they find evidence. I don't know if it's true. Okay, take everything with a grain of salt nowadays. That Hamas audio was picked up and video saying, "Oh my God, it was one of ours and misfired and fell in a parking lot, not in a hospital, no 500 people." But that spread like wildfire, and then all of a sudden you have all these protests, um, um, anti-Israel Israeli protests on all these college campuses. How could you kill 500 people including children in a hospital? And so it just, you know, there's so much misinformation and disinformation that it makes
Yes.
it really hard to
Yes.
evaluate our situation in the world today.
Yes. And so what he's saying is that he goes, like, this is exactly what he means. And he goes, Mom, this is exactly what we're talking about, and why we're talking about this tonight is because he says there's so much out there. And he goes, and it's not about choosing sides. He goes,
Yeah.
I know it's easy to want to pick a side, say these are the bad guys, these are the good guys, because what we're seeing is horrific in so many ways. But he says, try not to pick sides. Go with your intuition on things. And he says, and really feel it. He goes, because if you start to look at information, he's like reminding me, say, the law of attraction. Think about what you create. You're going to see evidence of all kinds of things that you're looking for because you're creating it.
Yeah.
And he says, that's how fucking powerful we are, guys. Because that's how powerful we are.
Especially as a
He says,
collective.
yes. And he goes, and that's the real point of this. He goes, the real war is the war for our attention, the
Mm,
war for our consciousness.
yeah.
So he says, the best thing that we can do is stay aware. And he says, and do the dip in and dip out. He says, because we're not telling you to live in la la land and ignore everything that's going on.
Yeah.
He says, that's not it at all. He goes, let's be real, people. He goes, we all want to know what's going on, but he goes, dip in, take a look, go inside, go inside.
It's about
How do you
awareness
feel?
rather than being paralyzed with fear.
That's right. Because he says awareness is how we combat fear.
Yeah.
Fear is where we
Yeah.
rotate in cycles. He goes, we'll go into different cycles of fear, and that's how we get down these rabbit holes. But when we have the awareness, we say, well, what can I do about this? He says, well, is there concern in your mind that, oh my gosh, we're not going to have food and this is going to happen and
Yeah.
there's going to be this domino effect here? He goes, well, what would make you feel good? Well, how about go and get, a few cases of water, stock it, put it away. He says, make sure that you have your essentials, make sure you have a flashlight, make sure you have all the things to prepare in case the hydro goes out.
Yeah.
Or, if in case you can't get gas, make sure you have a couple gas cans. If you
Yeah.
can do those things, he says, do them to the best of your ability. Not because we're telling you that there's going to be some big disaster, but because that awareness and doing those things is going to
It
help
makes you feel
ease
like you have
your.
some control over this
Yes,
situation that seems to have no
yes,
possibility of control. So
exactly. He says, so if the worry is there, you can do something about the worry. You can take action. So he says, allow yourself to create solutions because the universe will work with you. When you ask and put it out there, you can create these solutions.
yeah. So one thing I told my kids when they were fighting all the time, or actually I use it a lot on my husband. Don't focus on the blame, focus on the solution. And so there's a
Yes,
lot of blame that's going on, but with every single possible part. But we've got to find solutions. I'm not talking about geopolitical solutions. I'm talking about individual, but also collective. We can, find get a big group together and send love and light at a certain time for 10 minutes a day. Things like that. There
that's
are
right.
things we can do individually and as a collective.
That's right. He says there's always something we can do. He says there is never a throw your hands up in the air. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to sit here idly by and just watch it all happen and just watch it all burn down. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, we are not on a timeline where we are self-destructing. We are not on that timeline. He goes, are we going to go through some hard things? Yes, we have been through hard things and
Yeah.
we made it through and we will make it through again. And he goes, and this is the new earth coming in. So remind yourselves of how everything is in cycles. And what happens when a cycle comes back around? Well, he goes, look at all the types of division that's being created all over the place. He goes,
Yeah.
well, we've come from thousands of years of different types of division. He says, so this is all coming up to give us an opportunity as a collective to do different, to
Yeah.
work different. And he says, and also, he says, we have a lot of people in leadership on both sides that are like children, like school children, fighting for pride, for
I know.
control. And he says, so
So ego
what
driven,
can
all of it.
it very ego driven. And
Yeah.
he says, but that's that energy that we're leaving behind. But when we leave things behind, he says we often have to go through the process. And he
Yeah.
said this before. He says the collective is in the dark night of the soul. That's where the collective is on the spiritual journey. And
Mm.
he says the awakening is awakening to the spiritual journey of the collective. It doesn't mean that each and every individual will awaken to the point of like how we're talking right now.
Yeah.
But he says, as a collective, when light comes together, light has so much more power than dark. And you have to remember and have hope in this. He says that the energy that's supporting this is supporting us into the new earth. We're not going backwards. He says, so as you're looking and you're reading things and you're seeing things, he goes, it's going to feel heavier and heavier the more you focus into it. But
Yeah.
he says, our advice is be aware and do what you can on your own turf. He's like, where are you at war in your own life? Are you at war with yourself? He says, are you at war with your neighbors in your community? He says, can you see love in yourself so that you can see love in other people? Because everything is a reflection of you.
Well, that's
Everything
what you
is.
said through Denise too. That
Yeah,
this is all a lesson of about self love.
it is.
If we don't love ourselves, then there's no way we can love others as the way we should. So
He says it's not possible if we can't feel love within ourselves. If that is not open and we're able to do that, we will not be able to see that reflection in others. We will not be able to have that compassion for others.
yeah,
And he says, and that's what's happening. So every time we see something that creates fear or hurt or worry, how can we, whether it's right, he said he's really passionate about this,
yeah,
whether it is within ourselves, in our family, in our community. He says, where can we see peace and love within ourselves and in others? And what can we do to bring peace to a situation? And he says, guys, peace isn't always about bowing down and just allowing something to be
yeah,
because it's, well, I'm just going to do this because it's more peaceful. He says it's about including ourselves in the
yeah,
equation. It's about working through something, being willing to work through something rather than slam a door.
yeah,
He says that's what it's about. So he says, I just want you all to have hope, to know that we have timelines available to us. We are creating this new reality. We are
yeah,
doing it in our own lives and for the collective for many generations to come. And he
yeah,
says, and you know what, guys? This is the most powerful time for each and every one of us. He says, we are going to see things in our lifetime that is unimaginable. And he's talking about the spiritual energy and all of the exciting things that are coming. So he says, think about all of those exciting things. And he goes, and you're asking, well, what kind of exciting things? And he goes, well, think about your own spiritual journey and how that feeling of euphoria comes every once in a while. Because when you feel that excitement, he says, well, that's available to us on a collective level. and it's coming. So he says,
Good.
have hope that there's so much good that's here right now that we can focus on, and that will help the bigger picture.
Well, what can we do to help the collective, Erik? And
Well,
then you
he
guys
says,
need to go to make sure you hit the notification bell because you don't want to miss the upcoming two parts of this whole Israel Hamas mess. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
yes, oh, he says, first of all, sending light, sending prayer. He says, all of you that are doing energy work and doing healing work, he says, include the collective, include the world. He says, allow your own spirit team and guides to bring information to you. They'll know where to help send that energy. He says, have it come from the love within you. He's talking about you, Elisa, and how you give energy right from your heart,
Yes,
from love, from yourself. And he's
I do.
saying,
In the scalar field, I do that. I just pour the love from my heart chakra
and he says it's
see
so
it. Yeah.
deep. You feel it. It's
Yeah.
so deep. It's so touching. And he says each one of you can connect to that. He says, feel that love, envision that love that you have for a loved one. And
Yeah.
he says, and well up all that love inside you and then send it. He says, just by thinking, just by putting that intention, send it out there. Hold the collective in your arms. He says, prayer, healing. He says also, as you balance yourself, ask for balance in the collective as well. As you're clearing your own chakras, ask for the energy systems of the collective to be cleared. He says there's so much that we can do. And he says many of us are getting these ideas in our mind and thinking, well, I send prayers every day, but I don't know if it's really doing anything. He says, of course it's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
something. Of
Of course.
course it is.
Yeah. Any other advice for us, Erik, before we take callers?
He's just saying, he wants to remind everybody that there are, because he's saying a lot of people are saying, like, why don't the ETs step in?
Oh,
Why don't they
yeah.
step in? Why don't they
Yes.
step in?
Yeah.
And he says, well, they are in many ways, but he's saying that there's a lot of people talking about when are they going to arrive, like
Yeah.
waiting any minute. And he says, he's talking about 2024, 2025, about there being a communication, not them arriving in a mass way, but
Yeah.
more of a communication that it's like seems like it's an announcement, like a big communication. Um,
Mm.
and he says as we draw closer to that time, we will get more information. But what they are saying, and he's bringing the message through, what they are saying is they're honoring our soul's desire, the collective's desire to go through this process, and will help in the ways that they are able to,
Yeah.
which will include at some point stepping forward. But they're stepping forward more physically in a different energy, not
Oh,
in the energy that we're in right now. So
oh,
Erik says there's a few things that have to change. Um, he says that they're specifically saying use your intuition and balance your energy. Those two things every day, intuition and energy balance, to
yeah.
help keep you open for communication, because the amount of communication that's happening to individuals is turning up by day by day
Oh
by
my
day.
God. It's like I'm surprised they're not saying, "Hey, get it together, people." But no, I mean, I think they probably are more interested in saving our planet. I mean, that's probably a priority for them and not
Uh,
us.
Erik says the universe, and there are other universes.
Oh yeah.
He says it's a domino effect with
Mm,
what's happening on the earth right now. So they're
right.
they're very interested in what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
So should we? I don't have time to watch the news, but should people stay away from watching the news, or is that like hiding your head in the sand?
Erik says, no, don't stay away from watching it. He says be selective about what you're watching. Be selective, like he's saying, There's some news channels that play like breaking news, emergency all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, do not have that running in the background all day long. He says that is the biggest drain to your energy that you could possibly imagine. He says, dip in and dip out.
Yeah.
Check it out, see what's going on, and then shut it off.
Okay.
Awareness. He says, use it as awareness, like everything else. He says,
Not
watch
as
it
fear
for
mongering.
observation.
Not
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to take callers? You want to say anything else?
No, he says, I love you guys. I love you. He says, I'm here for you. And he goes, as always, he says, call on me. He goes, I'm here to help each and every one of you.
You're the best. I love you, sweetheart. All
Love you,
right.
Mom.
Let's take somebody from the 757 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, good evening. My name is Andre.
Well, I knew it. Andre from Virginia Beach. What you got for us?
I have a question for Mr. and Erik about my family situation and if my higher self has any messages for me or it has any messages for me because I feel I can be pushed to call today. So many like synchronicities and numbers, and I feel that there is a message for me.
All right. So what has he been? What
decision that I have to make?
Yeah. What message is he being nudged to hear, Erik, or Andre's higher self?
Erik says that it's been the same message that's been coming for a while now. He says it is about change. It's about making changes, not being afraid of the changes that are coming. Erik says some of them may feel scary. He says there's changes to your family dynamic, but he says this doesn't have to be a negative thing because he says what we're trying to share with you is about helping you step out of fear, helping you get out of fear.
Nice. That's something everybody could probably learn a little bit from.
And what is the best way to do so? Like, how to separate myself from the fear? Because I think that's exactly what it is. The fear is that what keeping me stuck in this situation.
Yeah.
And it's being very, very heavy on me. The fear of losing,
Yeah.
my family.
Erik says walking through the fear of the what if, allowing that to sit in your energy will have more benefit to you than the resistance that you're holding right now. Because it's the resistance that's causing so much discomfort in you, and that affects how things are perceived and also affects some of the energy in your family as well. So he says, allow yourself to go to those thoughts, hold those thoughts, not as this is what's going to happen, but hold those thoughts as, okay, well, what if this happened? And look at, would I be okay? Start to play with that energy because that will help you let go. And you'll start to feel less resistance. And that'll start to make a difference.
That is awesome. So yeah, just try to play out all sorts of scenarios that you're afraid of and ask yourself, well, I mean, is that going to be that bad? All right, Andre, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, we got somebody from the 845 area code. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm calling from New York. How are you?
I'm doing fine. What's your name?
Maria from New York.
Oh, Maria. Okay, right. Okay.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, at the end of this month, you see me, I'm going to leave to go in Italy, and the people over there, they treat me good, They're excited, they see me.
So you want to know if you're going to go to Italy?
At the end of the month, I want to go this month.
So you're going to go to Italy? What's your question? I don't understand.
say I want to go to Italy
Right.
at the end of the month.
End of the
You
month,
see,
right? Right.
Right. I said the people over there, they are good to me. It's going to be a finance. Okay.
Is that going to be doable, Eric, financially and otherwise?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a good finance.
Yeah. Eric, is that going to be a financial option for her at the end of the month going to Italy?
Yeah.
Eric says yes, but what he's also saying is he's saying to like look at ulterior so I'm not sure what it is that he means about whether it's booking or he's saying like look outside of what you're looking at right now as far as costs go. Like there's a less expensive way to go. Are you moving there or visiting there? Because he's showing me a lot that you're carrying there.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to move there?
Now.
Okay, so this is probably just a scouting trip, but you eventually want to move there.
Yeah, I want to look at it now. I want to see, I know.
Yeah, he says you'll be able to go, but he says think outside of the box because you're going to have some questions come up and feel like, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. So Eric says to allow, like, don't just close it off as, well, I can't do that right now. You just say to yourself, okay, though, that is not something that I see as possible. Universe, can you help show me ways that this would be possible? Because he says there's a bit of constrictive energy around you right now. So he says just kind of open your thoughts up, and he wants you to affirm to yourself that you're going as well. But he says that you do have a very good chance of going because he's showing me bags being packed. But it
Good.
looks like you're going to stay for a while later because there's big packing boxes being set up as
Awesome.
well.
Yeah, I'm going to stay for a while. About 5 months, I'm going to stay there.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
have fun.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
All right. Andre just got his answer and then he hung up.
Oh,
Y'all, come on, man. I mean, it's just, I mean, maybe he had an emergency, but seriously, don't just get what you want and then just leave. I don't like that. Anyway, so I know when y'all hang up. 917 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Ladies, how you doing?
Fine. Who's this?
My name is Ashfield. Spoke to you guys a few months ago
Okay.
regarding someone I was interested in, and Erik finally told me the person was already married. I don't know if you remember the story, but I moved on from that situation. So I'm just see if we see somebody else coming into my life.
Is there love coming into his life?
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting a little attention lately, but can't just get too serious about it. So just be open and see what happens,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. And Eric says that's why you're getting the attention that you are, because you are walking with the I'm open and I'm just seeing how things go. He says, change is on the horizon. He shows me the seasons. So this looks like the spring.
Oh.
So we get towards the end of the winter and into the spring. There's the opportunity of a relationship. Now, you might meet this person prior to that, but it's the connection, like more of a serious connection by springtime.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is it anybody I know already or not?
Eric says no.
All right. So you're in for a surprise. All right. Well, call back when it happens and send us the wedding invitation. Just kidding. All right. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Okay. Another 917 area code. Good Lord. That's a popular area code today. Hi there. How you doing? 917 area code.
Oh, yes. Hi. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
I'm okay.
Who are we
And
speaking
how
with?
are you?
Good.
It's Casey in New York.
Casey in New York. So 917 is definitely a New York area code. I got it. Putting it together.
Yes. With cell phones.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
yes.
get landlines, but it's usually cell phones in New York.
okay. Yeah.
Anyway, Yes, thank you. I would like to know what messages are for me, my higher self or spirit, that I need to know, especially moving forward out of the what I mean.
Okay. What's the thing, Eric? Or higher self?
The first thing that Erik says is your higher self is encouraging you to get out in nature, to get outside. And he's talking about breathing. Are you having some mobility issues? Do you have something going on with your legs?
Yes, but it's not that it's affecting my mobility.
Okay.
The circulation.
Yes,
And
circulation.
left leg I have, it was discovered I have somewhat of a blockage that I'm not very happy about. So, it happens, I get some pain sometimes when I walk.
Oh, claudication.
But I'm told to just keep working through it. That's
Yeah.
the therapy.
Yeah.
Is there a message about that or any way I can heal this condition?
Yeah, what Erik is saying is that your higher self is recommending, because when he said breathing, it was circulation, getting more circulation going and movement. So he recommends and says going outside, and this is to help prevent things from getting worse. Like he says, do some preventative work because he's saying Dr. Erik says go outside, and he says, and use the earth, use the fresh air, use nature and movement. He's actually showing for you, like movement, like Tai Chi, like moving the body, doing something like that. But he's really putting a lot of emphasis on keeping your legs moving.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Zumba.
What about walking or dance, running, things like that?
Yeah, like
Yes.
the Zumba classes are.
Yes.
Yeah. What about
Erik
yoga?
says if you've got something that you're drawn to that you enjoy,
Yeah.
even better. Even better. But he says keep moving, keep yourself moving, because that's going to be, like he says, the circulation, but he's also saying breathing, like breath work, because that's something that will help you as well. And he says that's going to start to trigger some other things in your body to feel better, and that's going to trigger a deeper healing path for you.
Awesome. Yeah, you can look that up. Breath work, breathing exercises. There's more to it. I never heard of it until I saw my sister Terry from California doing it. I was like, wait, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, breath work is important.
Any particular type of breath work? I think there are different people teaching, their style or whatever.
You'll probably look it up and be drawn to it.
Yeah, Erik says, really any type of breath work is going to be helpful for you. It's getting things moving. It's oxygenation, getting things moving in the body.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling.
Wow. Oh, can I just ask, what about bicycling or a stationary bike?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that would help too.
That would be great because that's no impact. That's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anything that moves my legs, basically, too.
Right.
You got it.
If you don't have
a
lot of impact that's so jarring on joints. All right. Thanks for calling.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Feel better. Get better. And all of you guys, you can always ask your team, your angels, etc., to help heal you, or the archangel, or Erik, or etc. So, all right, 631 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. How are you, ladies?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm hanging in there. I called in tonight, hoping that maybe I could ask Erik if he has any messages for my sister Charlene, who recently lost her son Charles.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just wonder where he's at in his transition. I know it was hard. Life was hard for him and it's really hard for his mom. So if he, is able to maybe be together with him, and yeah, I guess any kind of feedback for
What's the mom's first name?
Charlene,
And what's his name? First name?
Charles.
Charles. Okay.
Charles.
Yeah.
Charles had no time for goodbye. No time to be
Right.
able to say goodbye.
Right.
The first thing he's saying to his mom is, I'm sorry for not being able to say goodbye. I'm sorry for the quick exit. And there's responsibility around the exit as well. Some responsibility. He's taking responsibility for his own actions. So was he having some trouble right before his passing?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think he was very sad and very confused, maybe. But there were a few other issues that I'm not really too sure about.
Yeah.
To say.
He's saying that there was some complications, like he had a complex situation. What he wants you to know is that he is okay. He says that he's playing the song by Sarah McLachlan, In the Arms of the Angels.
Oh.
That music is running. He says he's working through it. He's working through it. He's okay. He's transitioned. And you can hear him. You're a medium. You're very. What's your first name?
Christine.
Christine, you have spiritual gifts, because he's gonna come to you to give you some messages, because there's like
Wow.
some clarity, some questions that his mom has and other family may have. And he's going to come to you. He's not saying necessarily a healing process right now. He's saying it like he's in a resting place.
Yeah.
That's how he's saying it.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Well, thank you so much. That really did help a lot. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Okay. Poor. It's horrible to go through that. All right. 678 area code. Hi there. How you doing? 678. Hi.
Hi, Elisa and the wonderful Michelle.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and Eric. I am Susie, and I'm calling from the Atlanta, Georgia area. And my question is basically a general question, and I'm sure that Eric has touched on this before, but I really have a hard time with connecting that the oneness of us all, because I just can't relate to being any part of these people that are causing so much havoc.
Yeah.
In Gaza, and how they could train for that, and I just have a hard time with that. We will, like, since Eric is able to bring forth Adolf Hitler for an interview, I just I have a very hard time with that. These people could wind up in the same place as we are and get treated exactly the same.
That's so mind-bending. Yeah.
Yes, and so I was wondering what Eric would have to share about that.
So what he's saying is, and he says there's a little bit of a gray area, just to help you understand that a lot of the individuals that are part of a collective experience, such as Hitler, there's something written in a contract, in a blueprint through the collective of an experience that we're headed towards. He says if it wasn't Hitler, it would be another individual. It's somebody that's filling a role, is how he says. He says it's hard for us because as human beings, we're very connected into our right and wrong, good and bad. And he says, and from the spirit perspective, it's not seen as that way. It's seen as honoring the soul's experience. And some of those experiences are very hard for us humanly
Oh, it's very
to wrap
difficult.
our brain around and understand. Now, he says there's something else as well. Now, not all souls go to the exact same spot. And so, what he's saying is like there's a healing. It's every soul has guides. Every soul, it doesn't matter what they've done, they all have support. But some will cross and if it's something that was part of a contract, it's like they slowly remove their coat. They slowly remove these layers of being connected to the earth to get to the core of who they really are.
Yeah.
There's others that are so much in their humanness that it might take more time to do that. So Erik says they can be in slight like heaven as we know it has different levels. And Erik says, when I say level, don't think of that as
Better
better
or
than.
worse. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's not that way. It's more to do with the experience and what that soul requires to go through their growth process, because growth does not end when we leave the physical body.
Yeah.
Growth is something that we can choose to continue to do. Not all do choose. But he says, to answer your question about having a hard time with the oneness, he says, you don't have to have compassion for the behaviors. Have compassion maybe for why they are there. And also, he says, what's so challenging about what is happening right now in the world is we see the pain, we see the suffering,
Oh, yeah.
we see all of the hard stuff. And he says, and it's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel anger.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel frustration. It's
Grief.
okay to say why, grief, and to grieve that. He says, allow yourself to, but connecting with the humanness, he goes, do it in the best way you can right now, or the oneness rather, the best way you can. So if right now that means I cannot accept that behavior, I'm not in a place to accept it. Maybe I will never be in a place to understand and accept it, but I can accept the fact that there is a bigger plan to this. I can be in the trust that there is more to it that I don't fully understand. He says, be with wherever that is, because oneness is not something that we just all of a sudden understand. He says, oneness is something that we experience while we're on earth to get closer to the oneness. So he says, take the steps that you can within yourself to get closer to that, but be okay with the parts of you that doesn't understand it, that
Yeah.
isn't in a place to accept it. He goes, that's okay, and not everybody will get to a place of accepting it in this lifetime. Maybe it will be in the next lifetime. But the fact is, you have awareness that there is that possibility there, and you can step closer to it by how you feel within yourself with what's going on.
Yeah, I remember having a hard time with that Hitler interview myself. And,
Yes.
yeah, very difficult. But then we found out that he sacrificed himself, his reputation, etc., to teach the collective a lesson that would eventually bring in a few decades of peace, actually.
Yeah.
So you need to, y'all, all you guys listening, if you haven't already, Google on YouTube rather, The Little Soul and the Sun, SUN. It's a children's book, but put narrated after the title. It's by Neil Donald Walsh, the guy who did Conversations with God, and then you can understand why somebody has to be a relationship villain. In other words, the one soul said to the other, well, I want to learn about forgiveness. Well, okay, then so I want you to betray me in the next life. And the other soul says, okay, but please don't forget who I really am, because I will have lost almost all of my life by doing that. So it's a really, it's childish, right? Because it's a children's book, but it's really worth a read.
Yeah.
Then you totally get the human experience and things like Hitler after you read that. Or at least it helps.
Books are best to learn from, really.
Yeah, that's right. The
Yeah,
Little
you
Soul
really
and the
are. I think
Sun.
that- So Eric had to go to the basement to get Adolf Hitler for that interview.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been too long. Anyway, you guys check it out on the Channeling Eric YouTube channel. It's quite interesting. And also the Jesus Christ interview is quite interesting too.
Thank you very much, ladies and Eric, for answering that for me. I appreciate that.
You bet.
Thanks, Suzanne. That's a good
Thank you.
question.
Very good. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people learned from that question. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
All right. 732 area code. Oops. Let me press it again. 732 area code. There you go. Hi there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for picking my number. What amazing conversations tonight. Wow. Thank you for all that
so
information.
cool. So much wisdom out there.
This is Melissa from Tums River.
Okay. From Tums River.
Melissa,
Yes, please. And Eric, I love you and I love all of you. Thank you so much for being there for all of us.
Oh.
I will just have an open question. What do you think I should know at this time, Eric? Thank you so much.
Eric says he's saying hi to you. He loves you. He's with you. He's actually sitting with you right now.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
So he's talking about some of the changes that you are going through, and he's talking about your own spiritual evolution. And are you wanting to be of service to others?
Always, my whole life. I love everyone.
Because-
I always want to be there
Yes.
if anyone needs me.
Oh.
Because he says, truly accept that within you and start asking, how, universe, can I be more of service? How can I be more of service? And you're going to start to see some synchronicities and some changes come forward to help you do so, because he says you have such a good heart. You have such good intentions for other people. And he says you've also been walking a spiritual path of your own. And he says you've got information to share. And I'm just asking him, yes, he says you are a communicator. You have the ability to communicate, but he goes, most of all, you have the ability to listen. And so he says, what do you want to do with that? So Eric is sitting right with you, and he would like you to work with him and to talk to him and allow him to help guide you.
I feel like there's some sort of connection between you two anyway.
Yeah, there is.
Right
He goes,
away.
if
Right
you
away.
will have me, he says.
Yeah.
He's teasing like he's proposing to her.
Oh. Always the flirt.
What did he just say?
He said, if you will have me. And he gets down on one knee like he's proposing to you.
Oh.
Of course I will.
He's a big flirt.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
Yes. He is. He is.
All right. Good things coming up for you, Melissa. Take care.
Thank you.
I'm
All
really-
my love to you guys.
Really glad you
Love you
called.
too. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Has somebody from the 515 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Good.
This is Lisa from Iowa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi. Hello. My question is, my best friend's elderly dog walked away the other day and hasn't came home. And we went looking for him yesterday, and he can't hear, he can't see.
Oh, no.
Is he here or did he pass?
Hey, what's the dog's first name?
Scrappy Doo.
What's his name?
Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy
Yes.
Doo.
Oh,
Oh.
and what's your friend's first name?
Sherry with an I. But yeah, it's heart wrenching because we just don't know.
What town is he in?
Elkhart, Iowa.
Oh, that's right. You said Iowa. Okay.
No, Eric's not showing me Scrappy Doo in spirit. Not in
Okay.
spirit. Okay. Whereabouts though, Erik?
Erik, can you guide him home?
There's a cornfield behind where they live, a new housing development, and a propane company around them. And there's in the area she lives, there's lots of open like sheds and
Yes, he's wandering, is what Erik says. He's wandering. There's a male that's not far from him.
There's a what?
There's a male not far from him. Like there's somebody Erik says going to connect with. He's hungry. He's looking for food.
Yeah.
He's looking for food.
So we'll try to find a human. Probably.
Yes. Because I can see a man with a pickup truck. Does he have tags on?
he just has his collar on because he never goes outside.
Yeah.
Right.
So no tag, just the collar. Yeah. But she put up flyers today.
I was just gonna say because you've got to have something up because the who's coming has a flyer, like sees the flyer.
We'll see it. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So yeah, tell Sherry that he's here. He's still here. Look, and he'll.
Okay.
Yes, and Erik says he'll help.
Oh, please. Yes. Oh, my goodness. All right. Everybody out there listening, please pray for him. Please.
Pray for Scrappy Doo.
We love Scrappy Doo.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. I will let her know.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
I just love my dogs.
Me too.
Oh, all right. 561 Erica. And hi there. How you doing?
Hi, Elisa.
Hey.
I'm so happy that you got to get some your vacation time. I followed your trip and I loved your soup.
My what?
The soup that you got.
Oh, small mozz. Yummy. It's good.
Yes, I Googled it and I'm going to make me some.
Oh my God. That's a very labor intensive soup. My God. That'd be awesome. Invite me over, please. What's yours? Wait, what's your first name?
So, Martha?
Oh, Martha. Okay.
Yeah, I got cut off 2 weeks ago or so. You were in the middle of answering a question and I got cut off.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm so happy that you called, that you picked me. But so I'm coming up for a job interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know, it's Thursday. I wanted to know if I was going to get the job, if they're going to offer me the job.
Where are you now?
In Florida.
In Florida. Okay.
I work for an aviation company.
Mm.
Okay, so Erik just said call back. So the interview will go well. They're going to call you for a second interview. He's thumbs up. He's thumbs up with it.
Any tips? Any tips that you want to give her, Erik?
He says walk in like you've got the job, but he also says, okay, ask them in the interview when they ask you, is there any questions that you have? If there's any questions, he says, be prepared to have something to ask them. Okay, like what, Erik? Ask them what they see for you or what they expect from you as in growth. Like he's showing me like they want to see you grow in the position. Ask them what they expect from you. What's the expectations? He says do a little studying around the position, but there's something about you having interest in having questions for them that is going to put you above others.
Oh. Because you're gonna make it clear to them that you care about your future with the company and therefore the future of the company.
Yes.
Like that. Very good. All right, let us know.
But does he see me getting the position? Are they going to offer me the position?
He does. He's giving me, see, when he answers a question like this, there is sometimes it's an automatic yes. And then sometimes it's like it looks really good, but it might be between you and another person. And he's just giving you a little extra to put on there to boost you up past the other person. But he's saying a second call, so you may get a call back for it, but you've got a very good chance of getting this job.
Awesome. Congratulations in advance.
That's right.
I love you. Are they going to be giving me the money that I'm anticipating? Because it boils down to money.
Yeah. And Erik says, and you're worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're worth it. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. See yourself get that big old paycheck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, I am.
Good. Thanks for calling. Love you too.
Love you.
All right. 949 area code. Hi.
Hi, it's Amy from Huntington Beach.
Oh, hi.
Amy.
Hi, wanted to see if there's any message for me from Erik or my spirit team.
Where are you calling from?
Oh, Huntington Beach,
Oh, yeah, you said that. Sorry about
California.
that. Boop. All right.
Amy.
And what Erik is saying is he's actually going to your health. Are you having trouble sleeping or not feeling very well lately?
Oh, yes, I haven't slept. I have a hard time sleeping.
Okay, because what he's saying is your energy needs a little bit of balancing, and how you can do this for yourself is he's actually saying using sound, like sound bowls,
Okay.
sound healing. You can go on YouTube and put on sound bowls and do it for energy balance. You can also look up insomnia in sound bowls. But he's saying to listen to that and use that because you'll feel it. You'll feel it buzzing in your body. You'll feel your chakras buzzing. And he says, and allow yourself to listen to that before you go to sleep, not while you're trying to sleep.
Okay.
Oh.
He says, listen to it before as part of like the
with
wind
headphones
down.
on, right?
Yeah, that would be best if she could do headphones.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Oh, good. Let us know how it goes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me see. Got somebody from the 412 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hey. Hi, it's Sarah from Pittsburgh. I was the last call last time.
Oh my gosh.
You've been working on me with the cancer, and I really want to thank you. It's lifted my spirit so much.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Yeah, I've been working on you I've been working on you big time today since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I just want to know, kind of, you had asked me to ask Erik about the low-dose naltrexone,
Yes,
the fenbendazole,
and ivermectin. Yeah.
What are the most important things for me to be doing right now?
Yeah.
90 seconds.
Yeah. Yes to low dose naltrexone. Yes to ivermectin. Yes. Erik is also saying most important thing while your energy work is being done as your body is changing is he says, remember that your cells are listening. He goes positive. Keep yourself as positive as possible. Speak to your body as it's healed. Speak in terms of thank you for my healed body.
Love that. I'm also doing a blocking the Herxheimer reaction for you because, cancer cell die off. It can cause immune problems like this cascade of inflammation. So we're blocking that too. So that's
he shows me her cells. He shows great big ears on the cells, like everything is listening. It's like everything's been opened up and listening. So he says be really like conscientious of how you're talking to your body because you're opened right up and listening.
Awesome. All right, it looks like we're about to we got 20 more seconds. So I'm will have to close the show. Glad you got snuck in real quick, Sarah. Anyway, thank you guys all for listening. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Michelle Gray. You guys check her out in the description box below because this is going to be a YouTube later. Love you all.
Love you. Eric says, love you, Mom. Love you, Lisa.
Love
Bye.
you too.
Thank
All
you
right.
for using Blog Talk Radio.
See you tomorrow.